pack your bags, get out the door. You don't need chemo
anymore.
Hi everyone, Alex Sheen, founder of Because I Said I Would. I'm actually just outside the green room for TEDx Youth Austin, a TED event here in Austin, Texas. But this is the week 8 video for 52 Promises. This week I volunteered at Base Camp, a childhood cancer foundation to benefit kids who've been diagnosed. They provide services, programs to help not only the patients but also their families through that experience. I was so fortunate to be able to be a part of this organization just for a day. I was able to deliver on Valentine's Day gifts to the kids who were actually in the hospital. We did a program called Dinner and a Movie. We dropped off some DVDs and a gift and some food that was donated, and the kids, they just really loved that experience. You know, being in the hospital is a really difficult thing to go through when you're a kid. You just want that interaction. You want to feel normal, but you're inside of a room. You got to be careful with germs, so interacting with folks involves a lot of hand washing, and it just doesn't feel like being a kid. So just giving them something as simple as a movie and a dinner from, you know, outside is something I think they really appreciated a lot. I also had the very unique opportunity to witness the soft launch of Talia's Room, which is a little, almost like makeup room for girls who have been diagnosed with cancer. Now that name Talia might sound familiar. She was a young girl who was featured as a cover girl, featured on the Ellen DeGeneres show, who had been diagnosed with cancer. I met her sister and her mother. Sadly, Talia passed away last year and succumbed to the disease, but it's very inspiring to see that tragic loss move into a new nonprofit organization, TaliasLegacy.org, and an effort that hopefully will make the journey a little bit easier for kids who are suffering through this horrible disease. You know, my father passed away, and cancer is always going to be something that's horrible, but at least he got to live a long life. A lot of these kids, you know, they don't get that chance. I want to speak to an issue that was discussed with me and Cindy, a staff member at Base Camp, and I think it's a really important one. Consistency and reliability of volunteers. You know, it's a volunteer opportunity. It's completely optional when you go help an organization like Base Camp, or even Because I Said I Would. But I feel that it is a responsibility that needs to be taken seriously. Cindy actually told me once of a time where this young woman was supposed to be picking up bagels from this bagel shop and taking them to the kids in the hospital. Right? Pretty simple task. It doesn't take too much oversight or management. Well, it turns out that this young woman decided to stop and to tell no one. And for 6 weeks, those bagels weren't getting from the bagel shop to the hospital. Now, I understand that we can't do everything, right? We can't volunteer every day or every week. We have our personal schedules, I get it. But when you commit to a volunteer opportunity, especially when helping kids who have been diagnosed with cancer with just a little piece of happiness like a bagel, you need to take that seriously. For 6 weeks, those bagels didn't show up, and that person did not have the courage to say, I can't do this anymore. And if they would have, then maybe Base Camp could have found someone else to fulfill that role. But instead, nothing happened. So you got to dig down deep inside yourself, and you know what? If you can't deliver, you can't fulfill that commitment, well, at least own up to it. At least own up to it. At least say, I can't do this. And don't impact the lives of others in such a negative way. As you can tell, I'm a little heated about that. I can't imagine someone doing that. You know, I don't want to judge too much because people are at different points in their lives, and it's better to be forgiving than judgmental. So I guess it's not about that. It's about you. It's about what you're going to do with your commitments when you say you're going to help someone else out. It's about looking forward to say, you know what, who am I going to be? When I say I'm going to show up and volunteer at 52 different nonprofit organizations, I'm going to be here at this time, well, that's what I'm going to do. And work on yourself so much where you don't worry about some so much about other people. I really encourage everyone to find an opportunity that fits them, where it doesn't feel like a job. It doesn't feel like something you have to quit. It's something that you love. There's so many ways to help people out that I know that if you look, you can find. So thanks so much for tuning in this week. I encourage you to check out the TED Talk that I'm about to give here in a little bit. It'll be on TEDxYouthAustin.com and up on YouTube shortly after. It takes them a few days to process things, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity and appreciate you checking out this week's video. Peace.